Okay. We're talking.
No, I don't think so. I think this will be fine. Hey everyone, here we are at the end of summer. Kids are back in school, schedules are getting back to normal. And traffic, well, it's about to be ready for back to Houston traffic. It's hard to believe that 1 year ago, Houston faced the devastating Hurricane Harvey. Many people, as we know, are still going through parts of that devastation, still trying to fix up their homes. I recently was able to hear Jeff Linder from the Harris County Flood District give a talk. If you remember, he was really the voice of the flood. He gave a talk about the flooding problem that Houston had, not directly in relation to Harvey, but about the impact that flooding's had through Houston throughout the years. He provided some incredible insight, gave some great stats, and what I wanted to do was pass along some of that information to you, because I thought it was absolutely fascinating. He talked about, or spoke of, the fact that Houston has had 4 what he called great, almost epic rainfalls in the last 38 years. The first one was Tropical Storm Claudette. That was in 1979. That dropped 43 inches of rain in a 24-hour period, still to today a U.S. record. Tropical Storm Allison in 2001, if you remember that, dropped 20 inches and a half in just a 12-hour period. The tax day rain in 2016 dropped 23.6 inches in 12 hours, but it was interesting how isolated some of that really was. And Harvey dropped 47.4 inches of rain in 4 days, but it dropped as much as 25.6 inches of rain in just a 24-hour period, and is known as the biggest or most devastating flood in American history. If we look back at the stats, we now know that 154,170 homes were flooded. That's about 11% of total structures. And the crazy part is over 105 of those homes were outside of the 100-year floodplain, which in theory is supposed to be a minimal flooding risk area. We're going to put a graphic up on the screen here, but it's going to show the enormity Harvey had and the impact of what it has absolutely crushed other U.S. storms to the tune of about 40% higher. So it used or dropped enough water to be able to supply the entire U.S. for 26 days for just a 2,000-mile period of measurement. If we expand that up to 10,000, that gets unbelievable. One of the facts that he spoke about and he really wanted to go through was that the drain system of Houston, it can really take about 1 to 2 inches per hour. Above that, it just can't handle it, so that water has to be flooded or channeled out, which is what some of the roads and bayous are obviously supposed to do. One of the things that he wanted to make abundantly clear is that just because you or someone did not flood during Harvey does not mean that you don't have a risk of flooding in the future. Going back to how the streets flooded, how the drainage flooded, the isolation of certain storms causes some areas that may have never been flooded before to flood. I showed that some areas have a higher rate of rainfall, and you went back and looked at the flooding. It showed that that isolated area can cause an area that you would think would never flood to actually flood. So as we approach another hurricane season, we want you to please keep in mind that if you don't have insurance, flood insurance, you may want to reconsider and get that. Don't use Harvey as a benchmark that you're never going to flood. So let's hope that we never see another storm like Harvey. But my expectation is that at some point in Houston, if you look at history, we are going to see more flooding. So we are putting up some sites. If we do have significant rain or we do get into another flooding situation and you want to keep track, log these sites in, because these are great sites to go for information about what's going on with the storm or in your area specific. I hope you have a great week. I hope the kids are enjoying being back in school, or kids are enjoying being off to college. It's that time of year. We'll be back with you in just a couple weeks for another market update. As always, if you have any questions or need any help in buying, selling, feel free to reach out. Shoot me a text, give me a call. Happy to help however we can. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.